Hey biohackers, welcome back. This is the episode 2 of the series in which I share my age reversal biohacking protocol. If you've missed the episode 1 or you want to see my current biological age report and biomarkers, I have linked both in the description below. Alright, let's dive in. In this episode, I'm going to share and deep dive into my sleep protocol. But first, why am I doing a whole episode on sleep? Number 1, because it is a non-negotiable for me. And second, sleep is literally the foundation for our health span, longevity, and age reversal. See, collectively, we have taken sleep for granted for way too long, not recognizing that there is a reason we are biologically designed to spend 1/3 of our life sleeping. It is not just for our physical rest and recovery. This is the time in which every single organ, including our heart and brain, goes through the deepest of repairs, clearing out toxins, clearing out dead cells, even building new cells, balancing hormones, building new or developing new neural pathways. All of this happens during sleep. Okay, so what does good sleep even mean? See, optimizing sleep is not just about quantity, quality and consistency matter. While most of us require 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night, in fact, if somebody's telling you that 4 to 5 hours of quality sleep is good enough, that's a problem for a lot of us. Now, there are a few handful people with a rare genetic mutation that can function well on less amount of sleep. For majority of us, 7 to 9 hours a night is non-negotiable. In fact, recent research shows that women may require more sleep than men. However, just clocking the hours means nothing if you do not optimize the quality of your sleep. So let's deep dive into that a little bit. So your sleep is cyclic, which means through the night you cycle through different phases of sleep, from core to REM to deep sleep. While all of these phases are important, deep sleep is where majority of the cleaning and healing happens. REM phase is where a lot of the memory creation, storage, logic formation and rewiring happens. Typically, aiming for a 1 to 2 hours of deep sleep every night is a great start. However, this is different from person to person, and tracking your sleep data will give you a good idea as to what optimized sleep looks like for you. For me, anything above 1 hour of deep sleep a night is good, but if I get anything below 1 hour of deep sleep, I categorize that as a bad night. See, this is what a typical decent night of sleep looks like for me. This is important to note because even if you feel like you've slept through the night, but if you have missed on this quality deep sleep, your body, heart and brain would have missed the deep rejuvenation that it requires. And if you haven't seen the earlier videos, you should know that poor quality sleep is directly linked to oxidative stress, which feeds into the decline of your cardiovascular health. Now, what can mess with this deep phase of our sleep? Well, a lot. There are small habits that we seldom associate with sleep that really impact the quality of our sleep. So let's deep dive and look at a few of these. Number 1 has to be caffeine. See, too much or too late of caffeine intake in the day can wreak havoc to your sleep. Even for those who think that they can have a cup of coffee and go right to sleep, know that you are disrupting this deep phase, which means the quality of your sleep. Now you know that this is not only accelerating aging, but also declining your health span. See, caffeine has a half-life of 10 to 12 hours, and that's the reason why my last cup of coffee is at least 10 hours before bed. So typically, no coffee for me after 12 p.m. And that is how it should be for you as well. But take a note that caffeine doesn't just come from coffee. Beware of hidden caffeine in things like tea, green tea, sodas, even dark chocolates. Next, it's important to note that majority of this deep sleep cycle takes place in the early hours of your sleep. While you may clock in another small deep phase a little later, which is early in the morning, but majority of it, the larger chunk, happens when you first fall asleep. And this is where the deepest cleaning takes place, because this large chunk of deep sleep supports the lymphatic system in clearing out the toxins from your brain. Dr. Macon calls this the literal washing of your brain from the cerebrospinal fluids. So that brings me to the next big habit that influences sleep: sleep time consistency. See, you may not be, but your body and your cells are animals of habit. Every cell in your body has a clock, which is part of your circadian rhythm, and it aligns this clock to your day-to-day habits. So let's say if you sleep at 11 p.m. every night, your body and every cell in your body is prepared to sleep at 11 p.m. And now one day you decide to sleep at, let's say, 2 a.m. So for you, it's just falling asleep. But for your body and your cells, you have already lost those 3 hours of early sleep. And because majority of the deep sleep happens in the early hours, you have now compromised and lost this deep sleep chunk. The solution is to stick to a consistent sleep time, if not every day, at least 80 to 90% of the time. Alright, let's spend a little bit more time understanding circadian rhythm. The largest influencer to our internal clock is actually light. See, our eyes and skin have sensitive receptors that respond to light and then set our internal clock, which influences our cells, mechanisms, and hormones. For example, if we spend time in the sun during sunset, our body naturally recognizes this as a time to relax and calm down. But thanks to modern living, we are constantly exposed to bright lights and worse still, blue lights from our gadgets, which disrupts our natural release of melatonin, which is a sleep hormone at night. So the next big biohack for sleep is sunlight exposure. I spend 15 to 30 minutes directly in sunlight every morning. This is a great way of resetting your internal circadian rhythm, but also it's a wonderful way to wake up and set the right tone for the rest of the day. And again, spending that time in the sun during sunset, like I said, is a great way to let your body naturally calm down and relax. In fact, Dr. Andrew Huberman says that our eyes have specific receptors that can decipher the rays of the sun to understand what time of day it is. Moving on to blue light blockers. Now, of course, we know that blue light mimics the morning sunlight, and that is why it confuses our system and disrupts our sleep cycle. But I go a step further and actually cut out all bright lights in the house at 8 p.m. Instead, I use red light, which naturally helps the body relax, calm down, and get ready for sleep. These are simple red lamps, no frills. However, I do a near-infrared lamp therapy every night for 20 minutes, but more on those biohacks in the next episode. Alright, moving on to the next important factor, which is nourishing our body to allow it to naturally relax and unwind. We usually miss the importance of micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and the role they play in not only keeping us healthy, but relaxing our muscles, our nervous system, our minds, and even our cells. One such very important mineral is magnesium. See, magnesium plays a huge role in muscle relaxation, just like calcium plays a role in muscle contraction. In fact, intracellular magnesium balances the extracellular calcium and stops it from entering the cell through the calcium channels, which not only keeps the cell healthy and avoids calcification, but actually helps our cells relax or our blood vessels relax, which leads to muscle relaxation, nervous system relaxation, and even our minds calming down. And that is why magnesium plays a very, very important role, not just in sleep, but in over 300 biochemical reactions in our body. Now, just to maintain good levels of magnesium, if you already have good levels, the recommended daily allowance is 400 mg of magnesium in supplementation. If you are like the 80% others who are deficient in magnesium, then your supplementation requirement in terms of dosage may be a lot higher. The best way to figure out and plan your supplementation for micronutrition is to test your biomarkers. Now, if you're ready to biohack your health and join the Biohackers Club, I've mentioned the details in the description below. Alright, now after all of this, if you still have trouble sleeping, then you can add sleep supplementation in the form of liposomal melatonin. Now, this is best used for short term. While melatonin is a natural antioxidant, it's great only for short term usage. Personally, I cycle this by using it every other day or when I actually need it. Alright, other than this, maintaining sleep hygiene goes a long way in enhancing your sleep quality. Number 1 is ensuring you have a dark room to sleep in. Number 2, having a cold room. Low temperatures enhance our sleep quality. Number 3 is eradicating all disturbances and distractions. If you're like me, I and my husband sleep with 4 dogs in the room, which means I need to use earplugs every night to ensure there are no distractions or disturbances. So do what needs to be done to make sure there are no disturbances breaking your sleep cycle. Lastly, making sure you're hydrated throughout the day. Alright, this was all about my sleep protocol. Now in the next episodes, I'm going to share details about my other biohacks and my exercise protocol, all for age reversal. So stay tuned.